My dear Christian, I will talk in a very, very important topic. Watching this video and achieving what I will see now is very, very important. Watching this video and achieving what I will see now is a matter of life or death. The last part in the video is the most important part. The last part in the video is the most important part. Achieving the last part in the video is the most important part, but you can't understand the last part in the video unless you hear all the video from the beginning to the end. I will talk about very great and incredible scientific miracles in the Holy Quran and Sunnah, and also I will make very important spots about very important points in your books. Hear me with your heart for your benefits, and I am sure if you hear me with your heart, my talking will penetrate your heart, because most of Christians are not arrogant, are not proud. If they know the correct way, they walk in the correct way. God said in the Holy Quran, in chapter number 27, in verse number 47 in Surah eltharyat, and we constructed the heaven with strength and indeed, and we will keep expanding. And we constructed the heaven with strength and indeed, and we will keep expanding. Which means that God said that He will keep expanding the heaven. The recent science proved that the heaven expands with a very high velocity, which it reaches 30,000 light years every 1 second, because there are 275 million stars are created or born every day. For that, the heaven has to be expanded to accommodate these huge numbers of stars. And if the heaven doesn't expand, the universe will be burst. How the Prophet Muhammad knew this very important fact from more than 1,400 years, and he was an illiterate man, can't read and can't write. How he knew that the heaven expands? This very important fact was discovered only from a few years. Very, very, very great miracle which pushed hundreds of Christians to convert to Islam. In the opposite side, you said in your books that the God created the 7 heavens and the 7 grounds in 6 days. And then he got very tired. For that, he gave himself a break, a rest, in Saturday. Is that logical? Is that reasonable? To insult the God who have unlimited power and said about him that he got very tired after creating the 7 heavens? How dare you to believe that? How dare you to say that in your books? But this is your book. Another very great miracle in our book. The God said in Surah Al-An'am, in chapter number 8 in the Holy Quran, in verse number 125. Whoever Allah wants to guide him to Islam, He make his breast expands to contain Islam. And whoever Allah wants to misguide him, He make his breast or his chest tightened and constrict it as though he is climbing in the sky. This is an example for the people who don't want to believe. Which means that God give an example for the people who don't want to convert to Islam. They are like the people who are climbing in the sky, and they will feel suffocated. They can't breathe. They can't breathe. The recent science proved that the percentage of oxygen decreases in the upper layers of the sky, as the Holy Quran said, from more than 1,400 years. How the Prophet Muhammad knew that? And he was an illiterate man, can't read and can't write. How he knew that the percentage of oxygen decreases in the upper layers of the sky, unless this Quran is from God? Very great miracle which pushes hundreds of Christians to convert to Islam. In the opposite side, you said in your books that the great prophet Dawood saw a very beautiful woman taking a shower. She was naked without clothes. He loved her. She was the wife of his big leader Uriah. He betrayed his big leader Uriah with this woman, and he made sex with her. He made the big sin, adultery with her, and then he put Uriah in a specific place in the army to make him killed, to put his hand on his wife. Is that logic? Is that reasonable? To insult the great prophet Dawood and said about him that he betrayed his leader Uriah and made sex with a married woman? How dare you to insult the great prophet Dawood and said about him that about him in your books? You said the God, you insult the God, and you insult the prophets in your books. How dare you to say that and believe that? But this is your book. Another very great miracle in our book. The Prophet Muhammad said in the hadith, if the fly fall in the vessel, dip all of it and then remove it, that one of its wings is a disease and the other is a treatment. The recent science proved that one of the wings of the fly contains antibiotics. For that, the Prophet Muhammad ordered us, if the fly falls in the vessel, to dip all of it. When you dip all of it, it will drop these antibiotics in the vessel, and it will clean and kill the parasites which fall from the second wing, and it will pure and clean the vessel. The recent science proved that there are more than great study in USA and Australia proved this very important fact, and now they produce antibiotics from the body of the fly. How the Prophet Muhammad knew that unless it's a prophet from God? Very great miracle which pushes hundreds of Christians to convert to Islam. And the other side, the opposite side, you said in your books that the son of the great prophet Dawood was having a very beautiful sister. He said to her, I want to sleep with you. She said to him, how much you pay to me? He paid to her and he slept with her. He made sex with her. He made sex with his sister. And once the father, the great prophet Dawood, knew this illegal relationship between his son and his sister, he got very angry, but he didn't punish him because he was loving him. Is that logical? Who is the son of the prophet Dawood? He is the prophet Sulaiman. The son of the prophet Dawood. The prophet made sex with his sister. How dare you to say that in your books? How dare you to believe that? But this is your books. In the opposite side, the God said, the Prophet Muhammad said in the hadith, every human being is created about 360 joints, and he has to offer every day a charity or donation for every joint. His friends said to him, it's too hard to make that. He said to them, if you pray 2 rakas in the early morning, it will be equivalent for all that. The recent science proved that every one of us is created about 360 joints in his body, like Muhammad said, for more than 1,400 years. How he knew that? This very important fact was discovered only for a few years. Every one of us has 360 joints in his body, but the Prophet Muhammad said that for more than 1,400 years. Very great miracle which pushes hundreds of Christians to convert to Islam. In the opposite side, you said in your books that the great prophet Lot drank wine until he got drunk. As the wine played with his head, he made sex with his daughters and he made them pregnant from him. Is that logic? Is that logic? To insult the great prophet Lot and said about him that he made the big sin, adultery. He made sex with his daughters and he made them pregnant of him. How dare you to say that and to believe that in your books? But this is your book. Another very great miracle in our book. The God said in Surah An-Najm, in the Holy Quran, in chapter number 27, in verse number 45 and 46. And he created the two mates, the male and the female, from a sperm drop when it is emitted. And he created the two mates, the male and the female, from a sperm drop when it is emitted. Which means that God said that he created the two types of the fetus, whatever it is male or female, from the sperm of the man. The recent science proved that the sperm of the man controls the type of fetus, and there is no relationship between the egg of the woman and the type of fetus. It was well known until a few years that the egg of the woman controls the type of fetus, until the recent science proved the sincerity of the Holy Quran and proved that the sperm of the man controls the type of fetus. How the Prophet Muhammad knew that? For more than 1,500 years, and who is an illiterate man can read, and very great miracle which pushes hundreds of Christians to convert to Islam. In the opposite side, you said in your books that the God settled down from the sky and he walked in the ground and he met the great prophet Yaqub. The great prophet Yaqub said to him, can you fight me? The God said to him, yes, I can fight you. The great prophet Yaqub fighted the God and beated him and put him in the ground, and then he held him from his clothes and he said to him, I will not leave you climb in the sky unless you called me Israel. He said, okay, you are Israel. Is that logical? Is that reasonable to insult the great prophet, the God, and said about him that a human being beat him and hold him from his clothes? How dare you to say that and to believe that in your books? But this is your book, which you don't know who wrote these facts. Another very great miracle in our book. The non-believers said to the Prophet Muhammad, if you're really a prophet from God, split this moon for us into two parts and we will believe you and support you. He said to them, can you give me a charter, a strong promise? They said, yes, we give you a promise. He prayed to God and the moon has split it into two parts. But they said to him, no, you charmed us with magic. This is magic. He said to them, I achieved what you want. Why you broke your promises with me? They said, no, it is a magic. He said, okay, there are messengers will come after 2 days. We can ask them. If they saw which you saw, this means that it is not a magic. They said, okay, because they know that the magic affect only the people in front of you but doesn't affect the people far away from you. The messengers came after 2 days and they said, we saw a very strange thing. We thought that the moon has split it into 2 parts, and they were astonished. What is the matter? But the non-believers said to him, no, 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 your magic is very strong. It goes for a long way. For that, the God settled down, and this is always the character of the non-believers. They ask for a great miracle, although they know that this man is a prophet, but and when he achieved what they want, they broke their promises because they are liars. They are liars and they are arrogant. And I hope you are not like these people. For that, the God settled down in Surah Al-Qamar in chapter number 27 in the Holy Quran, in the verse number 1 and 2. The moon, the last day has been soon, and the moon has split it. And if they saw a great miracle, they don't believe, and they said it is a strong magic. When the instruments dropped on the surface of the moon, they found a very long crack, a very huge crack, dividing the moon. The length of this crack is 125 kilometers, and the width of this crack is 1,500 meters, and the depth of this crack is 500 meters. They was astonished because they never saw a huge crack like this in the ground. They made studies about this crack. They found that this crack impossible to come as a result of earthquake or volcano or any other thing. One of the scholars of NASA agency in USA said that our studies proved that the moon has broken in the past and then it's sealed another time, which proved without any doubt that the God has split the moon for his prophet from more than 1,400 years, as the Holy Quran said. Very, very great miracle which wished hundreds of Christians to convert to Islam. In the opposite side, you said in your books that after the very big fluid or storm in the period of the great prophet Noah, which destroyed all the world, the God got very sad, and he cried for that. He has pimple in his eyes. He was sick in his eyes. He has pimples. For that, the angels wanted to visit him. Is that logic? Is that logical to say about the God who have unlimited powers? I say that he is sick and he have pimples in his eyes. How dare you to say that and believe that in your books? But this is your book. Another very great miracle in our book. A big scholar, non-Muslim Japanese scholar called Masaru Emoto made a great book called Message from Water about the incredible effect of reciting the Holy Quran on the water. He found many strange things. He found that after reciting the Quran on the water, the crystals of the water started to move, and it made very beautiful structures. Geometric structures, flowers. He took images for these structures and he put them in his book. And then he made experiments about the water. He found that the benefits of the water and the chemical structure of the water is changed to be better and better in the treatment of many diseases after reciting the Holy Quran on it. He wrote that in his book, Message from Water. All these miracles is a drop. I will put all these miracles under this video, provided with links to prove what I have said. All these miracles is a drop in a big sea from hundreds and hundreds of miracles in the Quran and Sunnah, which pushes hundreds of Christians to convert to Islam every day. 50,000 Christians converted to Islam in Egypt every 1 year, and 5 Christians every 1 hour converted to Islam in USA because of these miracles. If you don't want to believe until now that this Quran is from God, I'm sorry to say to you that you are arrogant. Because if I told you to look at the sun in the sky and you told me that you don't see anything, this means that you are arrogant or you are blinded. You have to know that the greatness and the strength of the miracles in the Quran and Sunnah is stronger than the light of the sun in the sky. And you have to know that the Quran, which contains all these miracles, said in Surah Al Imran, in chapter number 3, in verse number 85, any person will accept any religion unless Islam will not be acceptable for him and will be from the big losers in the last day. And the Prophet said in the hadith, I swear with whom my soul is in his hand, any person hear about me, Jewish or Christian or any another religion, and don't believe me and don't believe the religion I came with, he will be one of the hell people. You will be one of the fire people if you don't convert to Islam. I made this video because I care about you. I afraid about you. I love you. I don't want you to fall in fire. You will fall in fire and you will never come out of it. Don't destroy yourself. Don't lose the paradise. You will bite your fingers in the last day and you will cry, but you will not cry with tears. You will cry with blood. and you will blame yourself because you don't obey me, and you will hope to return to the life for 1 second to convert to Islam, but the time will be off and the door will be closed. Now I have finished what I want to say. Drop under this video and read all the miracles which I have written, and press the links to make sure of what I have said. And after that, you don't have any excuse, and you will be the killer of yourself if you don't convert to Islam.